So why do people want to be crazy?
Why do people want to be crazy?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you're all right.
Why do charismatics want to be insane?
There. All right. So I think one of the things is like, depending on the charismatic world you grew up in, not every charismatic world is like what you're calling as crazy. Okay. So like, I'm very familiar with the world you grew up in.
Yeah.
Right. And so, because I have been part of that world too. I mean, pretty much when I got saved, I was thrown right into hyper charismatic world.
Right.
All right. So like I remember the first, so for any charismatics out there listening, you'll know what I'm talking about. So my first CD I think I ever got was a Don Potter.
I was going to guess.
No.
But anyway, keep going.
Yeah. Okay. So first Christian CD. Let me phrase it. First Christian CD.
Don Potter.
Don Potter. He was a worship leader at Morning.
Remember.
He was a worship leader at Morning Star.
Okay.
And there was like 5 songs.
I've heard of that too.
Yeah. He was like 5 songs on there, and it lasted for like an hour and 20 minutes or something, right? And
perfect.
And, it actually is really, it was good. And so, but the whole Morning Star world is like pretty hyper charismatic, right? Like I can remember going to one of their conferences, and one of their worship leaders is leading worship with she's wearing a wedding dress with army boots, and that's what she led worship in.
Great.
Yeah.
Because the
bride
of Christ and the armor of God.
Yeah, and being in the army of God, right?
Yeah.
And so being a soldier of Christ, right? So yeah, and so like I've been there. So you and I kind of had these like, we were around some of the like kind of the charismatic and hyper charismatic type of things, right? And so like I get our perspective is kind of coming from there in a lot of ways. But I've also been around another kind of branch of the charismatics, if you were, that are more like what I would call like the Wesleyan charismatics. So like the charismatic movement that happened in the Methodist Church, and like you get your Wesleyan charismatics.
Okay.
And it's not near as quote unquote crazy as what our experiences were growing up in a like real charismatic Pentecostal church. That was, like you talked about, like waving. It was more than just the waving the banners and the flags. It was like doing the fire tunnels, people being slain in the spirit all over the place. Did you ever have anyone like run laps inside the sanctuary? Oh yeah, that was like, common thing, right? Running laps around the sanctuary. People speaking in tongues just out loud, and then there'd be interpretations.
We do like Congo lines with the guy with the horn thing. What's that thing called?
Oh yeah. Man, I know what this is.
Where they hollow out the horn of the
shofar. Yes.
Yeah. And he would toot on that thing, and we'd all follow him around the thing and shout something and something.
Right. And you probably did it, and you probably did it 7 times, because it's like like the walls of Jericho falling.
Right.
Yeah.
And they'd play da 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 on the thing. The worship leaders would play that. And he'd toot the thing like that.
I've never. Okay, I will say I've never done conga lines around the building 7 times.
All right. Well,
that was your experience.
No, we didn't really do that. That's what it felt like.
Okay. So going around the line, going around the building 7 times, blowing the shofars. Right. Spiritual walls falling down.
Eventually we'd end up outside for some reason.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time you're outside.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you got to get that full march around you, right?
There's people just seizing in the parking lot.
I'm not gonna lie, like, so again, it's funny, like what you're just brought into, and you just think this is normal,
right?
Until you get away from it, you're like, oh, that's not normal.
No, none
right?
of it is.
And so, like,
we cause car accidents.
So, like, I remember right after getting saved, we started going to this church on Saturday nights. That was like a charismatic like worship service every Saturday night, and so there's no preaching or anything. It was just worship and prayer. And I can remember, like, they had 2 overhead projectors. So this is back in the day when you had the overhead projectors, right? You had the slides on the overheads, and you had one person on each side, and one individual. She, like, every single week, like, she was getting slain in the spirit, and it was on the ground. Right. And you're just like, well, that side gets no worse.
Hey, show up. Hank's going to hit play, and we're going to see what the hell happens. Right.
Yeah,
it was like,
it was, but for real, like, that was normal.
Yeah,
like so you saw all this stuff, but then we saw some really cool stuff too. Like, I mean, I've seen people get healed. I have not only seen people receive prophetic words, but like been given prophetic words before, where someone was just like reading my mail and like knew things about me. There's no way they could know about me except for the Spirit told them, right? And so like I've seen the really cool things too. And so that's like, I know that's kind of like our world of that kind of crazy, charismatic, very expressive. Everybody's jumping around in worship, dancing, hollering, right? But then there's the like what I call like the Wesleyan charismatic style, which is way more like mellow.
Well, what does that mean?
Like, so there's not as much of the running around and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you got people raising hands.
For now.
You have people with flags and that kind of stuff. But like, you don't have like the kind of the extreme side of the emotional things that I think we saw in our experiences in the hyper charismatic churches.
Okay, I have a new question then.
Okay.
So
what I'm saying, like some of what I'm saying, not all charismatics are alike in the way they express their worship and the gifts. Is all I'm saying. All right, go ahead.